Josh Hilton sitting in for Ryan Price this afternoon. And this Wednesday, the CRD's Transportation Committee will consider a motion put forth by directors Jeremy Caradonna and Dave Thompson. The motion reads as such, that the Transportation Committee recommends to the CRD board that CRD board directs staff to investigate and report back on the costs, benefits, and implications of creating a region-wide free youth bus pass program under the CRD Transportation Service and in collaboration with BC Transit. The committee will deliberate this motion on Wednesday and decide then whether or not to advance this recommendation to the full board. If passed, the CRD board itself would then need to consider the recommendation and then vote on whether or not to direct staff to conduct the investigative work and then to report back on their findings. So as far as policy goes, this is still in the very early days. So early, in fact, that there's still time to speak to it at Wednesday's meeting. Those interested in doing so have until 4:30 today, nudge, nudge, to sign up by visiting the CRD Transportation Committee's webpage and clicking the Register to Speak link. But all that notwithstanding, this will be coming up today at the Wednesday at the CRD Transportation Committee. And joining us now to discuss it further, Liz Cronin, spokesperson for the Victoria Transit Riders Union. Liz, thank you for your time today on the CFAX Afternoon Show.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So we've spoken before about the merits of free fares, provincial, just for everybody. But let's focus now on fares for youth, those under the age of 18. Why is it such a big deal to see youth under the age of 18, whether it's here in the CRD or all across the province, be able to access and ride the bus for free?
Well, safety is one of the first things that youth have brought up to us and that comes to mind for me. I'm a social worker. I've worked with folks who've experienced violence and hard times. And when you can move around and get yourself where you need to go, you can keep yourself safer. So that's one of the biggest reasons. But it's really freedom of movement. When you have someone who doesn't have to pay for fares and they live in a place where they can access transit, they can go see their friends. They can go get food. The possibilities are endless, and that's why I think we see such good health outcomes when people have increased access to transit.
Oh, and especially because I've always thought that it was odd that we curtailed the free fares at the age of 12. Because as if somehow 13-year-olds were suddenly in this higher tax demographic that had income, but they don't. So to me, I always thought maybe 17, 18 kind of made the most sense if you're going to capture youth. Why not capture all of the youth, not just the non-high school population? But if we're in the process now of trying to develop the ridership skills in our kids and making them more comfortable in using the bus and knowing how the systems work, it makes sense to me that we're allowing them all the opportunities they can by allowing them to use the system while they're still school age. That way, by the time they graduate high school, you're into adulthood. At least you're now fully confident and comfortable with using the bus.
Oh, absolutely. And not to bring up like the trigger word of a lot of folks in this region, but it's not actually bike lanes that causes congestion. It's many people. I don't want to get into it too much, but It's actually many trips happening in personal vehicles. And so the more trips we can get to happen on transit, the better it is for people who are in their vehicles. It's better from a climate perspective. And we know it's so good for their mental health. You know, we don't want them to have to look around for a bit of money in their room to see if they have time to go see their friend. We want them to just go out the door and make an easy choice to go and connect with people and reduce their social isolation and help them thrive.
Now, I know last year the UBCM passed a motion asking the province to eliminate fares for all young people aged 12 and under, and we've seen that come to fruition. Could we see more things like this coming up? I mean, sure, we're talking about the CRD now, but what other things are going on around the province to see such a thing maybe expanded? Maybe not for everyone, but that's kind of a bit of a long-term, medium-term goal, but let's just catch all those youth and teens 18 and under, make sure they can get around the province. How are we doing there?
Oh, absolutely. And we've, with the Victoria Transit Writers Union, we've met with George Anderson, the parliamentary secretary for transit with the provincial government. I've gone and I've spoken at the budget committee. We're really pushing to have the province eliminate fares for all youth and for all seniors immediately. Those are two groups where we believe that the money exists in this society to stop harvesting little bits of change from them and impeding their movement, impeding their efforts to take care of themselves and each other and to live freely in our communities. So our policy ask is to actually just do it immediately across the province for youth and for seniors, and then ramp up the infrastructure so that we can eliminate fares for everyone, which is where you see the most efficient delivery, the drivers not having to pay attention to fares at all so they can focus on safety. That's where you get the biggest savings of taxpayer dollars in the healthcare system, because people are able to care for themselves. So that's the vision. Mm-hmm. But we just love seeing this come up at the regional level anytime it comes up. And honestly, while we're pushing the province, and we are going to have to push them, we're making a movement. Everyone, please join us. We're going to have to push them to get this done. But while we're waiting, any additional young person who is able to get on transit and get where they need to go and be safer and more confident mm-hmm. and happier is so beautiful. So we're really pleased that this is coming up at the CRD level.
But incremental growth is always good, as you mentioned. Now, while you do have the big goal of, essentially free fare for everyone across the province, you do kind of have that focus more immediately on youth and seniors across the province, while, of course, this is good news that we're hearing moving here in the CRD level. So talk to me about that, incremental growth. You can't have everything at once, but you can shoot for it one day, right?
Oh, absolutely. And we just see any kind of, so when we're fighting for justice in society, in the meantime, are we going to stop helping people where we can along the way? Absolutely not. We need to be doing all of those things at every level all the time. And there's, only so much energy one person has to push for these things. And that's why we band together. I'm talking to you now. Another member of our group is going to speak at this meeting tomorrow. And when we build up our numbers and we organize, that's when we can really push for the changes at all these different levels of government and get what we need.
So, in the final moments here, Liz Cronin, a spokesperson with the Victoria Transit Writers Union. There's going to be some folks listening now who think, just cough up the $3, just ride the bus, pay for it, you'll be strong. Why should they, maybe come on side with such a thing? Why should everybody kind of embrace transit ridership for free for all folks under the age of 18, or even expanding it to include seniors above?
Oh, absolutely. So there is kind of a sense people have of, but isn't it more fair if you have to pay the money, like the people as they're taking the bus? Isn't that the most fair way to do it? And I'm like, well, if what you mean by fair is that it doesn't work well and it costs us all more money in the long term, and you're really attached to that and you're willing to watch the healthcare system just buckle under the weight of people not being okay, then sure. But no, we're not. We have a different vision. We have a vision of the future where people don't have to take a minute to look for that money. And honestly, many people won't find it. We know for sure from research where change has been made that people make more trips on transit when you eliminate fares. It happened in Montreal when they eliminated fares for seniors there. And every single one of those trips, we know that people are taking better care of themselves and better care of each other. That leads to thriving. That leads to a society where we're not wasting money punishing people, chasing them down looking for fares, and honestly seeing them in the emergency room down the line. Because when you don't take care of each other, it actually does cost a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure. Just in our final moments here, Liz Cronin, if folks want more information on the work that the Victoria Transit Writers Union does, where can they find it?
It's victoriatransitwritersunion.com. We're also on all the different socials. We have an awesome volunteer who's helping us with that. One of our organizing committee is keeping that going. Please join us. Please check out our work. We're wanting to grow. We're wanting to get out here and just make things work better for everyone. Liz
Cronin, spokesperson for the Victoria Transit Writers Union. I do appreciate your time today on the CFAX Afternoon Show. All the best, and we'll catch up for updates as things proceed. Sound good?
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.